but I completely forgot the time today. Just got so wrapped up in what we were going to be doing tonight. So let's talk about last week. How many of you guys were here last week? Good majority of you. You guys who weren't here, you really need to go on the YouTube site. There are sheets of paper up here with the site that you really need to listen to last week's talk. It was done by Steve Collins. He did both Saturday and Monday. It was incredible conversations that came out of that. What he talked about last week was that distance that he was feeling. He'd gone as far as he could go, and he felt like there was a distance between him and God. And that distance was created by unconfessed sin. And he was telling us that when he finally broke down and confessed all of that, the freedom that he experienced was just incredible. And I wasn't here last Monday night, but I can tell you on Saturday, when he is standing here and saying, "Gentlemen, I am free," it's like, man, I want that. And sometimes that is an issue. That is one of those things that keeps us that distance from God. But then sometimes, what happens if you confess that and you still feel distant? You ever been there? This is the story of me for the past month to 6 weeks. Now, I need to explain. I need to take you back. I don't know how I got here. I can tell you, starting 4 years ago after I accepted Christ, I have been on this meteor ride on top of a mountain, so filled with God and having so many opportunities to see Him work, to be a part of your lives and so many lives, and to see Him work in people's lives. God has spoken to me. He has used me in ways that I didn't even know that it was entirely possible. But about a month ago, I finally hit a point where I'd come off of that mountain, and I feel like when I was praying, my prayers were just bouncing off the ceiling. And I've been crying out, and I've been talking to Will and Woody, and they've known what's been going on with me. I'm a very emotional person. My relationship with God is very emotional, but I have had no feeling, and when I have no feeling, I have no emotion. And when I have no emotion, God and I just seem really distant. I went back and started looking at things in my life. All right, is there sin? Well, I tried to think about everything that I could possibly think of and start confessing that. Being open and honest with Will and Woody and sharing whatever was going on in my life in hopes that that was that thing. But it wasn't. And I think sometimes we just get in that place where God seems distant, but He really hasn't moved. I didn't change anything that I was doing. He just seemed like He wasn't there. He wasn't listening. You ever been there? And for me, it's painful because I walk around and feel like I'm a zombie. And I'm coming off of this mountain, and I'm down in this valley, and I'm wondering, what happened? Did I do something wrong? Did I make God mad at me? So it started really picking up speed about 2 weeks ago. About 2 weeks ago, I did the encounter group when Woody was out of town. And we used a video from Andy Stanley. It was called An Intimate Relationship, My Intimate Relationship with God. And I remember standing up there and talking after that and knowing what I was supposed to feel, but not having any emotion at all. And I got home that night, and Tracy looked at me and she said, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "I don't know. I don't feel anything." Fast forward to Saturday, where I was speaking on Saturday breakfast. And again, took the videotape. Tracy watched it at home. She says, "It's still not there. You don't act like you even believe what you're talking about." Now, most people couldn't tell, but I can. I can see it in me. I can feel it in me. Last Monday, I got sick. Now, we're talking about really sick. So, I told Will, I said, I can't make it, so he had to take that. I was not going to be able to make it last Monday night, not for the life of me. I left court, I came home, I was throwing up, I was in the bed, my body absolutely ached. I haven't had a flu or anything like that in years. Had to be 10 years. And it hurt. And every time I moved, I ached. And before Tracy went off to do the women's group that night, I said, can you get me some ginger ale? Well, she left at 6 o'clock. I got the dogs in the bed with me, and they haven't been to the bathroom. And about 10 o'clock, she shows back up. I'm thinking, all right, you would think that she would come in and talk to me. No, she doesn't. I hear her pop the top of a can. I'm thinking, maybe she got me some ginger ale. That would be good. Come to find out, she didn't. She got Diet Coke. She's sitting in there drinking, and then next thing I know, I hear her talking on the telephone, talking to one of the women from the group, and praying with them on the phone. And I'm in the bed, getting mad. And it's all of a sudden, all of the stuff that's inside of me is just coming out, and I can feel it, and I'm praying as I'm getting out of the bed. And I'm walking like an old man because everything hurts. And as I'm walking out the door, I'm praying, God, don't let this happen, don't let this happen. But of course, he's not listening to me because it was going to happen anyhow. So I come out and I start yelling after she got off the phone praying. All you care about is the women. You don't care about me. You didn't even remember. You've been there, huh? Does it sound familiar? We've all been there. You couldn't even remember to bring me some ginger ale. She said, I'm sorry, I'll go get to the store and get it. And I said, no, forget it. I'll go to the car and get it myself. I don't care if I die. You apparently don't. I could be in bed. And that's where I was. Go to Wednesday night. Went to First Wednesday. Didn't want to go. Hadn't been the First Wednesday in a while. Tracy had a meeting, so she was going to be there. She said, are you coming? I said, I'm just going to stay here on the couch. About 6:45, I got up. I don't think I've ever walked into Blue Ridge and felt so alone. It was as if I didn't even belong to the church. It was that feeling. Walking in, they had already started, didn't want to be there early, didn't want to have any conversations with anybody, didn't want to go through any of that. And it was the weirdest feeling. It was as if that nothing mattered anymore. I'd come to the end of my rope. I'd reached the end of it. I had no feeling for God. I listened to the songs and nothing stirred up inside of me. And I'm over there in the aisle, and I'm sitting in the back, which is another unusual thing. I was sitting in the back because that's where I wanted to stay. I didn't want anybody to talk to me. Hank sees me and comes over and hugs me, and I'm just pushing him away. I'm just, go, Hank. I'm just done with you. And I keep digging myself into this deeper hole. And I get down on my knees and I start praying, God, please, give me something. Something. About halfway through when we were singing, it happened. Right there. It wasn't in me. I turned to the side and I saw Keith. And I watched, he just caught the corner of my eye as he dropped to his knees and started crying in the middle of a song. And tears started coming to my eyes. And I realized, that's it. That's what I miss. I miss that emotional connection with God. And that night, I don't know what happened, but it seemed like the door started opening back up.